firstly, thank you everyone for joining us on our Great Outback Escape info night. We're really excited to see so many of you register and join us here. Yeah, we are doing it virtually, which is excellent now that everyone's up and about with this technology. It's wonderful that we can reach you all nationwide. And I just want to say, I hope those that are caught up in the nationwide lockdowns at the moment, hope you guys are looking after yourself and doing okay and taking the time to get out and about, especially on your bikes. I just want to firstly introduce the team to you all. So my name is Jamie. I'm an event manager at Bicycle Network and the manager of the Great Outback Escape. We've got Beck, who's our general manager of operations and marketing. And we've also got Sarah, who is our event coordinator, who also helps out on this event and would be the main person you talk to on emails and the phones. So firstly, just a bit of housekeeping just while we're on this info night. Please keep yourself on mute. There is a chat function at the bottom of your screen on the menu if you would like to type in any questions. Sarah will be manning that and we'll be able to respond to any, and we'll also read out some important questions that come up or popular questions as well. And we will also have question time at the end. So please feel free to save your questions to then. So firstly, those who may not know much about Bicycle Network, so we are a not-for-profit health promotion organisation, and our purpose is to make it easier for everyone to ride a bike every day. So to do this, we do have a number of departments in our team, and that one of those is our event team. So we run events nationwide, and that is to help people get out on their bikes. And the main events you may know about are the Great Victorian Bike Ride around the Bay, and now we've also got these escape series as well, which have just popped up in the recent years. We've also got our membership, so we are up to nearly 50,000 members. So we look after these guys in terms of advocacy in local councils and the government areas, looking after their rider rights if they are involved in any unfortunate incidents and things like that. And also just like to offer any benefits as well that we can share with our partners for them. We've also got our behaviour change program. So we do the Ride to School program and Ride to Work programs as well. So that is Bicycle Network in a quick nutshell. But the Great Outback Escape. So this event is an 8-day premium cycling experience. So, and within that, there is 5 days of riding. So we visit the main attractions of the Outback, which is the West Macdonald Ranges, Kings Canyon, and Uluru, Kata, Tjuta National Park. And along the way, we see if we experience a few cultural experiences as well. And it's all done on premium accommodation and support. So this premium support as well is in the lead up. So we help you with your bikes, any little services we may be able to help you with, like if you're driving to the event, need to store your car somewhere, need to store your caravan somewhere. Because it is a small amount of riders, unlike some of our other events, we do have the ability to help with those one-on-one questions and service those questions you guys have. On event, we are there 24/7, so except when we're sleeping. But we are there from breakfast to going to bed. We're there to assist you every step of the way out on the road, and also with your extra activities outside being on the bike. But the main point where we shine is on the road support. So just letting some more people in. There you go. So our on-road support is one of the most valuable inclusions of this event and is what makes riding the Outback and the NT as a whole, I guess, achievable for you guys, just to make it enjoyable and worry-free. So, and by that, we drive you to the most accessible roads, the best roads to ride on and things like that. So if you're doing it by yourself, you don't need to ride on those big A1 highways that have the road trains and the big trucks and things like that. So we take care of that for you, take you to the quieter, secluded streets, the more enjoyable places to ride. And yeah, just make it enjoyable so you can explore the NT by bike, and in particular the Outback for this event. So personal support. So we have a concierge team, so you will have a dedicated team. So that at the moment is Sarah and myself. So when you answer, give us a call, send through an email, that will be one of us responding to your inquiry. On events, we offer airport shuttle services. So when you arrive in Alice Springs, we will be there to pick you and your bike up as we know, it's a bit bulky having your luggage and your bike in a box or a bag as well. So we're there to help you and take you to the hotel. We have on-event bike check. So we'll have a mechanic with us, Troy from Pedal Power Garage. He will come along with us and just help you build your bike, make sure it's put back together correctly after being stored in the bike box or the bike bag for the flight. Every day we do have daily event briefings, so that way you feel prepared for what's to come for the next day. So they're usually held at dinner, so that's also your opportunity to ask any questions, find out, well, if you need to pack spare walking shoes or pack bathers to go for a swim, or how much time you have to explore on top of the riding time and things like that, and what time buses leave and that. And then our on-event assistant, so that's just the event team, as you can see in that photo there. That's we did this event back in 2019. So you'll have a group of 10 to 12 people there to support you along the way. So the riding, there's 331 kilometres in total, and all the riding is done on the road. So there will be the odd bit of dirt as you enter and exit rest areas and as you venture off to do sightseeing, but in general, it is all on the bitumen. The shortest day is 48 kilometres, with the longest day being 104 kilometres, but not to worry, it is definitely a lot of flat riding and not many, there's not much climbing at all. I think in total there's about 300 metres or something of climbing, which is very minimal compared to other areas in Australia as well. So it's very, very flat. We recommend a road bike with the tyres of 28 to 35 millimetres tyres, but really just any bike that you feel comfortable riding 100 kilometres on is perfectly fine. And any bike you feel comfortable riding 5 days on is the bike that you should bring along to this event. And we understand you're on holidays for this as well, exploring the outback. So the average riding pace that we count for is about 15 kilometres per hour. So that gives you a lot of time to explore, stop along the way. We know you're on holidays, you're not here to race from one end to the other as well. And e-bikes are of course welcome. So staying in hotel rooms, you have the ability to charge your bikes and your rooms and all your batteries and things like that. So the inclusions and ticket options. So we have premium and deluxe tickets for this event. So, but with both ticket options, all meals are included, including breakfast, morning tea, lunch, and dinner. Most meals, I should say. There is the odd meal, if we've got a free day, free afternoon exploring a town, then that's not included, but majority is. We also include complimentary bike transport from Melbourne. So the reason this is only from Melbourne is because that is where we are based as an organisation. So we transport all our event gear from Melbourne to Alice Springs and back. So we do have the ability with our trucks to transport your bike. And this is definitely an option that we recommend if you do have an e-bike. Otherwise, if you come from another state, you will need to arrange flying with your bike. And flights are not included in the ticket price. So we do have our premium ticket and our deluxe ticket. So our deluxe tickets a bit more expensive, as you can see there, but that is because they do include the more deluxe accommodation options. And the standout would have to be the spa room with bush views at Kings Canyon. I do have an image to show you of that on the next slide. And you also stay at the more premium hotel when we're in Yulara, which is Sails in the Desert, which is the iconic place to stay at as well. And included in your ticket, you also get the helicopter ride at Kings Canyon, which is valued at about $100, I believe. And there's multiple room types to choose as well. So we've got a twin room, ideal for two friends, or if you are traveling by yourself and happy to be paired with someone of same gender and similar age, if we can. Double room for you to share with your partner, and your own room if you would like to book your own space. I do believe we are there, maybe only have 1 or 2 rooms available of that left. So majority of the available tickets we do have is in our twin or double. And then to secure your spot, you can make a booking either online, and you can do that from our website, or you can call Bicycle Network and make that booking over the phone as well. So at the moment, we are accepting $1,000 deposits, and that's up until Friday, the 1st of October. And then after that date, full payment will need to be made at the time of the booking. Otherwise, your balance payments are due at the start of November. The accommodation. So here we have just some images of the places we're staying at. So the first hotel in Alice Springs is a Nikua Alice Springs. It's a beautiful, hotel just located right near the centre of town. So it's easy to go and explore if you arrive early and things like that for the day. The difference with the ticket types here is that deluxe stay in the Superior room, whereas the premium tickets will stay in the standard rooms. Then we move into Kings Canyon Resort. So you can see the image there of the spa bar. So you have a very private, secluded room with views like that, which is just stunning to relax after your day on the bike or in your hike around Kings Canyon. And then if you've got the premium ticket, you will stay in the standard room pictured below. And then we move on to the Lost Camel and Sails in the Desert when we're in Yulara. So the deluxe rooms will stay in the image at the top there, at the Sails in the Desert, and the premium rooms will stay in the hotel next door called the Lost Camel.
And Jamie, I'm just going to interrupt for a second. We had a great question about a COVID refund policy. Yes. I will touch on that shortly when we get to a little bit more information about COVID. So yes, we do have one and we'll go into it shortly.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Beck. So what else is included in all this ticket price is a lot of experiences. So the included experiences are to see Stanley Chasm, to explore Simpsons Gap. This is one of our rest area locations and they're just absolutely stunning. It's also free to do the Kings Creek Walk, the Kings Canyon Rim Walk, which is one that is not to be missed. The helicopter ride for deluxe tickets only, but they are available to be purchased for your premium tickets. The Field of Lights experience, sunrise breakfast with views over Uluru, which is stunning, and the Sounds of Silence dinner, which is a iconic dinner to go to as well, under the stars out in the outback. And then we've got our optional experiences listed below. So those, as you go through your booking, some have a cost, some don't. We'll touch on those ones a bit later in a bit more detail. But you can add those to your booking as well to add to your experience. So we've also got a promotion for you guys for after tonight if you do wish to jump on board this event. So if you book before Wednesday, the 25th of August, you will have 2 entries to win a free return flight to Alice Springs and back. But if you book after that date, but before Friday, the 17th of September, you'll get 1 entry. So we'll share this information, this promo code in an email, along with all this information as well for you guys, including the recording if you want to rewatch anything, things like that, in an email tomorrow morning for you. So if you want to enter and win yourself go on the draw to win yourself a free flight, those are the details there. Beck, over to you.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to talk through a little bit about the bike side of things for this event, and then we're going to get into the day-by-day breakdown as well. First and foremost, when you're traveling with your bike, if you haven't done it before, we do understand you can have plenty of questions and we're here to help. I am going to say and quickly introduce Troy, our mechanic, who Jamie spoke about earlier from Pedal Power Garage. Troy, if you want to just say a quick hello so everyone can see your face pop up on the screen.
Everyone, Carly.
Thank you, Troy. Troy comes along with us as well as one of his team members, and they are there right along the way to help with your bike concerns. But to get you off to a really good start when you're transporting your bike, it does need to be boxed or in a bag. If you don't have a dedicated bike travel bag, you can just go to your local bike shop and they'll normally very happy to assist with a bike box, but also in packing it as well. That does apply as well if you're using our bike transport from Melbourne. They are required to be in a box or bag for transport because it is quite a long drive in the back of a truck. We want to make sure they are well protected as well. If you are coming from Melbourne and want to make use of our bike transport, there's no additional cost to that. We just let you know a date and a time a couple of weeks before the event when you drop the bike to us at our workshop out in Sunshine. We'll load it up for you, we'll get it up there, and then it'll be there and ready for you when you arrive in Alice Springs. Same thing on the way back. You pack it up at the end, we'll assist with that, and then we bring it back to Melbourne and you can collect it from Sunshine, which is normally about a week or two after the event. Give the truck driver some time to get back from quite a long haul. Lots of questions around e-bikes. They're very well supported on the Great Outback Escape. We had quite a few in 2019 when we did this event. They can be supported in all the same ways that we support non-e-bikes. So we can support them through our SAG wagon, which is the support service that can get you through the day if you're not able to finish riding. And of course, charging your batteries can be done in the rooms each night. One thing to keep in mind for those of you with e-bikes, though, it is very difficult to fly with your e-bike battery. And most of the airlines have a policy that don't allow them to go in their bike transport area. So you may need to look at other options to get a battery up there, but we can help you with that, and where you can explore hiring batteries or hiring bikes out of Alice Springs as well. So if that's an issue for you or a concern, just let us know and we'll help do our very best to help you get around it. COVID-19, the hot topic, and one I desperately wish we weren't talking about, but it is, of course, a huge thing in everyone's world at the moment. There is two elements to this, of course, our COVID refund policy, and then how we manage to run a COVID safe event. Our COVID refund policy is available on our website. I'm not going to read it word for word, but basically as it stands, if you cannot get to the event because of COVID related restrictions, or we cannot deliver the event because of COVID related restrictions, then you are entitled to a full refund. And we did have to do that this year, where we really wish we didn't, but we did. And we were able to get everyone their money back really quickly. And of course, some of those people have transferred and are joining us on this event next year. So we look forward to having you and appreciate you sticking with us. From a COVID safe events perspective, I'll just jump back, Sarah, thank you. We ran our first COVID safe event back in March this year, which was for 2,000 riders. And basically we stick to the core principles that you all know very well by now. Social distancing, hand sanitizer, lots of signage, and of course, it is a little bit dynamic, so masks may be required if they're the mandate at the time by the NT government, all of those sorts of things. So we don't make up any rules of our own. We just apply the core principles that we all know very well by now. Of course, we'll make sure all that information is provided pre-event and very up to date as it changes. I do hope that by the time we get to April next year, though, it's not as front of mind as it is for everyone right now. Amen. All right, day one, you will be flying into Alice Springs. We do have some options as well if you want to get there a little bit earlier and spend some extra time in Alice Springs. But essentially, you'll fly in to Alice Springs Airport. Our team will be there to meet you. We have a shuttle service to get you through to the Mercure. And once you get there, the first thing that you'll do is check in with us, check in with the hotel, and obviously find your way to your room. Get your bike sorted, and then we start with a really beautiful dinner under the stars in the lawns of the Mercure at night, and we do a welcome to country as well from a local traditional owner from the Watarrka people. A beautiful evening. It is pretty chilly normally up in Alice Springs. We know it gets hot up there in the day, but do recommend beanie and some sort of warm jacket for nighttime because it does get quite nippy. It is a great opportunity that night to meet your fellow riding companions. We do have communal dinner tables, and of course you'll get to meet all of our team as well. We introduce everyone so you know our names and faces for the rest of the week. Day two is our first ride day. If anyone joined us back in 2019, this has changed slightly, but you'll jump on a bus nice and early and you will head out to Glen Helen Gorge. If we're out there early enough, you still might hear some of the dingoes howling, which is quite a really beautiful sound amongst the silence of the West MacDonnell Ranges. From there, you're going to head out on the road. You've got a chance to stop at Ormiston Gorge, and we're riding through 60 Ks this day to Ellery Creek Big Hole, which is actually a swimming hole that you can make the most of if the weather is nice and warm at the end. I had the opportunity to swim there at the end of one of our planning trips, and it's really, really beautiful location. The riding this day is it's spectacular. On one side, you've got the West MacDonnell Ranges just kind of bearing down at you, and the colours amongst the rocks and the shrubs on the ground and things, it's unbelievably spectacular. And then once, in terms of the riding, it's quite undulating. So it's kind of these like little rolling hills. They're very easy lots of momentum, but actually really good fun riding as well. Day 2, it's a similar concept. So you'll jump on the bus in the morning. We will bus you out to Stanley Chasm. Now, Stanley Chasm is a really important cultural site, particularly for the Dreamtime stories related to the Indigenous women. So we do a welcome to country out there from a traditional owner. And last time she was one of their emerging traditional owners, and the stories that she was able to share with us, well, I think they had scones, jam and cream for morning tea. It was just kind of a really magical moment to be able to sit there amongst the trees and the surrounds before you head out to Stanley Chasm and then head off on your riding. So 70 Ks this day. You ride on the road through to Simpson's Gap, and then there's a bike path that will take you from Simpson's Gap back into Alice Springs. So it's a combination of on-road and bike path, but the bike path is sealed as well. It's really well signed. We'll have our signage out there as well. And we do have lunch that day at Simpson's Gap, which is probably one of the most spectacular lunch sites that we've ever had the chance to work at.
Then that brings us to day 4, Kings Canyon, which we're calling either our rest or adventure day. So it's up to you which way you would like to go with this day. So the day begins with our breakfast at the hotel, and then we've got a kind of a long coach ride from Alice Springs to Kings Canyon. But then when we get there for lunch, after lunch, it is the afternoon is yours. So this is where the rest or adventure part comes into it. So I've got a few optional activities for you to choose from this day. So for those of you that have booked yourself or will book yourself a deluxe ticket, this is where your included helicopter ride will be. And then we've also got additional helicopter rides available for premium ticket holders to purchase as well. Although I think the big showstopper here is the Kings Canyon Rim Walk. It is a stunning walk, so you can opt to either do this guided or self-guided. It is it's a 6K kilometre loop. It's about 3 to 4 hours, depending on how quick or how much you do want to further explore the canyon yourself. But it is stunning. It's a bit strenuous at the start, just because you do need to get up the canyon up some rocky steps. But once you get up there, it's beautiful, but there is less strenuous options as well. And then we finish the evening with enjoying the views of the canyon over sunset with a glass of bubbles. And it's just beautiful. But we will mention this day as well, if you do the helicopter tour, unfortunately it isn't time to do the Kings Canyon Rim Walk that day. However, we have got time for you to do that in the next day itinerary. So there's plenty of options to do. So as we touched on here, so you got the helicopter ride, that's $115. Some of the team did this last time we were there, and they said it was really stunning, and the views from above were spectacular. And then to actually walk through it the next morning, if you got that opportunity if you want to take up that opportunity, that way you really see it from every angle. So again, you can do it guided or self-guided. So there are the options there, and allow 2 to 3 hours for that walk. But the other option is if you already did the Kings Canyon Rim Walk, you don't want to do the Kings Canyon Rim Walk, then you can do the Kings Creek Walk, which is a shorter walk, 1 hour. It's free, and that offers really beautiful views from the floor of the canyon. So again, you can really experience the canyon from all angles. Day 5. So this is a day where we'll start riding in the morning. So we'll ride from Kings Canyon Resort out to Kings Creek Station. It is a shorter day of riding, only 49 kilometres, very flat again. However, the reason why this ride day is so short is so you have got the opportunity to make sure you fit in another walk and really explore this national park we're at. So again, the options are your Kings Canyon Rim Walk, your Kings Creek Walk, which is the one where you see the shorter walk with the views from the floor. And then we've also got an additional walk, the Kathleen Springs Walk. So this all will be shared up on the website as well. It's a lot of walks, but a lot to explore. And then we do have another coach ride from Kings Canyon to Yulara, where you'll have the opportunity to spend some free time in Yulara. So Yulara is the name of the town right near Uluru, Kata National Park.
Thanks, Jamie. Just before we get into the day 6 riding to Uluru, there was a question around the buses and COVID in relation to that. Basically, in terms of our COVID safe on policy, at the moment, most buses or public transport require masks. If that is still the case, that will be required. But if the environment is that it allows for public transport and events, then we will be continuing and the buses will be utilised. Now, day 6 is probably one of the most iconic ones. It's got all the best things to do at Yulara and Uluru jam-packed into one day. It is an early start, so we get up really early. We join the buses, that the coaches, I should say, that take us as a group out to the Field of Lights. I'm not sure if anyone has been out there, but it's an incredible art installation. Sort of at the foothill, I guess you would say, of Uluru. You've got Uluru in the background and there's thousands of these coloured tiny lights in the foreground. And of course, you're out there when it's pitch black. And then as the sun starts to rise, you get the changing colours of both Uluru and the Field of Lights. Once we've seen the Field of Lights and had a chance to walk through it, we then enjoy a beautiful breakfast for the rest of the sunrise before we head back to the hotel, and you have a chance to ride out and around Uluru. So when you ride out to Uluru, this is timed to avoid the road with the same time that other coaches and things head out. So it's a really enjoyable experience. It's only about 24 Ks out. You can do the full loop around Uluru. We have a rest stop out there for you, but of course there's other ways to explore Uluru. There's tours that are available out there and seeing some of the rock paintings and things that are around the base. I have had the privilege of working with Bicycle Network for 10 years, and I've been to some incredible locations, and I can tell you there is nothing quite like getting to the base of Uluru. It's incredibly grounding and really sort of energetic place. It's a beautiful location to be able to spend a day and have plenty of time to just wander and take it all in. It changes everywhere you walk, the colors change, and it's captivating. So really encourage you to get going early on the bike that day and have as much time as you can out there. Prepare for it to be warm, but it is an experience and a location that will just stay with you forever. Once you've spent your time out at Uluru, you head back to the hotel at Sales, and you've got free time in the afternoon. You can take it easy. You can put your feet up. You can have a swim in the pool, or you can go for a wander. And there are some free activities available around Yulara as well. There's a couple of images, Field of Lights there, with the sunrise coming up. And of course, once it has come up, you actually can't see the installation of Field of Lights at all. It just looks like the sort of the paddocks, or as I said, the foothills you can see in front of you there. So really beautiful place to enjoy breakfast. Some of the free activities in Yulara, there's a bush foods experience that is free, where there's a guide that takes you for a bit of a walk around, and you get to enjoy some native berries and fruits and things like that, and hear how they're used in traditional Indigenous cooking. And of course, these days we do see them in modern Australian cooking as well, which is fantastic. There's a gardens walk around the Desert Hotel, which is guided, and they'll talk through a lot of the native plants and a little bit of the history of the area as well. And there is the famous sunset camel tours out of Yulara as well. This is a paid experience, but certainly one that is worthwhile as well. Our last day of riding is also our longest day of riding, but it is quite incredible. So when you're riding out in the morning, you have Tjuta in front of you that you're looking at and you're seeing all the way out there. Once you get out there, you get to enjoy lunch out there. There's time to do a bit of the walking around Tjuta, and then you turn around and ride back, and you have Uluru in front of you as well. So you get the best views all day on this day. Of course, if you don't want to do the 100 Ks, that's okay. You can ride out there and we can bus you back. Not vice versa. We do prefer you ride out and we'll bus you back, but it's certainly worth getting out there for a minimum look around and a walk. When you get back that night, we head out to the Sounds of Silence dinner, which is another famous Yulara experience. So you head out into some sort of sand dune type areas. There's welcome drinks, didgeridoo performance, a beautiful dinner under the stars with all your fellow riding companions. And it is just for our group. And then there is a stargazing tour once the sun has gone down as well, where they talk through the beautiful night sky that is, of course, free of any sort of light pollution once we're out there, because it's you're in the middle of nowhere and it's beautifully dark. Day 8, farewell, the saddest day, no doubt. One of the beautiful things that we've seen in 2019 was the friendships that were formed over the 8 or 9 days that we spent together. And in the morning, we'll have, we work together with the hotels at Yulara to get you off to the airport or back to Alice Springs as you're required. And we'll help with your bike and your bags and all of that as well. I do apologize. That was a log just fell in my fire. So if you heard it, nothing significant. But yeah, we're there to get you home safely, help you say goodbye to your friends, your new friends, and hopefully lifelong friends. And of course, make sure that you've had the very best experience that you could have over those 8 days. All right, questions. I'm going to go through some of the ones in the chat that we might have missed or Sarah couldn't keep up with, because you're keeping her on her toes, that is for sure. Alan has asked, do you ride in groups, and if so, how is it allocated, or do you set off and ride at your own pace? That's a really great question. Each day we set a start time, and everybody sort of leaves at the same start time, but from there you ride at your own pace. So we have a lead and tail vehicle. The tail vehicle is the support vehicle, and then you'll see our team at all the rest stops along the way, which are every 20-ish Ks. When we get up into the Northern Territory, water, toilets, first aid available, and those sorts of things. But generally people sort of fall into natural groups as they're riding, based around your own pace and having a chat with some people along the way as well. So they're not strictly formed groups. You don't have to stick with someone that is a different pace to you, but you do stay within, I guess, the confines of our lead and tail vehicle.
Beck, I did just have a request from Susan to bring back up the route map.
Yes, Jamie can do that. Thank you. I'll keep scrolling back. Emma asked, which bit don't you have time for on that day? Jamie, I think that was in relation to the Kings Canyon day off. There's two activities you can't do on the same day.
Yes, correct. So I should clarify, there is time to fit in both activities. It's just you can't do them both on the same day. So when we arrive in Kings Canyon in the afternoon, if you are going to do the helicopter flight, you'll have time to do that plus the short walk, which is the Kings Creek walk, which is the 1 hour walk, but you won't have time, unfortunately, to do the long, the rim walk, just because you do need 3 to 4 hours out there, and the timing of the helicopter flights just doesn't allow us to do that, unfortunately. But on the next day of riding, when we leave Kings Canyon, there is the opportunity we'll have a rest area at Kings Canyon at the rim walk, and you'll have the opportunity and the time to do so then.
Thank you. I think it was Karen that I've lost where I was up to on the chat box, but asked, what's a daytime temperature? It's warm. So when we were up there in May 2019, the mornings are really fresh, so you do need to rug up a little bit in the mornings, but as soon as the sun is up and in the sky, I would say most days that we were up there, it was about, Jamie, you'd have to 27, 28.
Yeah, like mid to late 20s. Yeah.
There are other thing that is worth keeping in mind. It is seasonal, and we're sort of at the bit earlier in the season than we were in 2019. But there are lots of flies in and around this region, and it is worth packing a really tiny fly net as well. Just if they are out in force, it's a far more enjoyable experience to have some protection or relief from those.
In saying that, though, with the flyers, while you're on your bikes and moving, you are less bothered by the bikes than when standing still and stationary. Yep.
So we'll carry the burden of that when we're waiting at the rest areas for you guys. There was a question around volunteers. I think it was Nick has asked, is there volunteer spots available? Unfortunately, there's not on this one. We take a very limited team from Bicycle Network and a handful of contractors, so like Troy, our mechanic, and our logistics team who take the trucks and manage all the bike loading for us. So no volunteer spots available on this one, but plenty on our other events. I did see another COVID related question. Will it be compulsory for participants to be vaccinated? Really hot topic at the moment. As I'm sure many of you are aware, the requirements around compulsory vaccination for different workplaces and things like that are being debated at the moment. I can't give you an answer yes or no on that at the moment. But what I will say is, obviously, like most organisations at the moment, we do support people getting out there and getting their jab. Some questions around the support vehicles carrying shoes. Jamie, do you want to tackle that one? What people can do with their walking gear and all
Yeah,
that?
of course. So yeah, there will be some days like the Uluru Day, or when we ride out to Kata, Tjuta, and Kings Canyon. Yeah, there will be an opportunity to either drop off your shoes with the support team going out to that site, so you can collect them there at the lunch site. Or the other option is we may encourage you to pack your shoes in your little day bag for that day as well. So all that information of either way you need to go will just depend on the daily logistics, but we'll let you know the night before what you need to do with your shoes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Jeff has asked, what happens to our bike boxes? Do they go to Yulara or Alice Springs? Jeff, they go to both. So we'll have them at Yulara for those people leaving from Yulara. And then we can assist with getting them back to Alice Springs for those that are going back to Melbourne as well.
And also, everyone, we will send out an email first thing tomorrow morning with this information. We'll include the slides, the recording, the promotion code, and what else is important? Yeah, and the COVID policy as well, and the event terms and conditions. So this will all be included in tomorrow's email. If you did jump on late, miss the start of it, anything like that.
We'll take a couple more questions. So Naomi has asked, do bikes coming from Melbourne on the trucks need to be boxed? Yes, they do. They are put on the back of a semi that we contract, and they're well-known team to us, but nonetheless, they are going on a truck. So we do require them to be boxed and labelled with your name to get in the truck. I think that's it. Apologies if we've missed any questions, but if we have, just pop them back in, or if you can re-tag us. Otherwise, our team are available on the phones. Of course, we're all working remotely at the moment, but that means these days we're able to manage that. So you can jump on the phones and have a chat to us over the coming days if there's any questions. We're aware that we've put a lot of information into a sort of hour-long session. So if there's something you forgot or want more info on the next couple of days, just reach out to us.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for attending. We hope you got learned the information you want to know about the event, and looking forward to a Outback getaway like we are in May 2022. So some of you may not also know, we do also have the Great Top-End Escape, which we haven't touched on today, but that is up on our website and on sale as well at the moment. So if the Outback isn't the destination for you, we've also got the Great Top-End Escape, which goes to Darwin and the surrounding region up there. So check that one out as well. And that departs in June 2022.
Jamie, just one question we missed has been asked again, was around the bus times and the kilometres travelled each day. We won't go through that tonight, but we will put that information up on the website so you know what that is. It does vary day to day. There is a long day from Alice Springs to Kings Canyon is an extended trip on the bus, but the other ones are much shorter. So we'll put that one up and you can have a look through it. And Tina, I did see your question around bikes coming back to Melbourne, and does it take 2 weeks? That's what we put it at the moment. How they work is obviously we have to load up all the gear in Alice Springs. The drivers are going to take their time getting back within their driving limits, and we unload them at the other end, and then we have set dates for team to come and for riders to come and collect them. So there's normally two dates over a week period, because we know not everyone can get there on the same day. So a little bit of flexibility in it, but it is quite an operation. So bear with us.
And on the coaches as well, they are very comfortable coaches, and they're equipped with a toilet as well, to make the ride comfortable as well. Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for attending. We hope you got what you need out of this, and hope you're interested, and please chat to us on the phones or email over the next coming weeks if you've got any questions, and we look forward to seeing you guys there in the Outback.